Now, protesters campaigning against the expansion of Heathrow Airport say they will take direct action on the final day of their protest. Police say they are confident that they'll be able to deal with the demonstrators who've now gathered in the field near Heathrow. Let's go straight to Heathrow Airport now to our correspondent Nicola Pearson. So what exactly is happening as we speak, Nicola?
Well, in the last half an hour, we've seen several large groups of protesters leave this site. Not that many people left, actually, in this camp now. They've had a police escort, police at the front, and then police coming from the rear as well in vans, usually sort of 3 at a time. So several groups have gone off down the road. They've tried to gain access and turn left, which would be quite a direct route to the airport, but police have blocked the road off and not allowed them to do that. So they've had to turn right, which is a much longer way round to the airport. And then we've seen sort of groups splitting off, and police are sort of trying to keep up with each group, putting officers at the front and the back. And at the moment, it does look fairly contained. What police are trying to do is to stop the protesters getting to BAA headquarters. I've just seen a police helicopter, which looks pretty much like it was looking down on BAA headquarters. So it may be that some of the protesters have made it there already. We've also had reports that 3 protesters are on a rooftop somewhere over in that direction. So we're getting reports in all the time. We think that probably what will happen is we'll see a smaller breakaway group sort of leaving the site throughout the afternoon. I believe that we have a report now from Ian Palmer.
The day of action has begun. Organisers were hoping 2,000 people would take part. From the air and the ground, they'll be disappointed. At times, it got heated. Reinforcements were called. With police behind and in front, demonstrators are being carefully corralled. Today at Heathrow, there are at least 4 police officers for every protester. The small group of campaigners won't be happy until they highlight the effect air travel and its expansion is having on climate change. The jury is out as to whether they have achieved those aims.
We have had enough of the prioritisation of economic growth over the future of our planet. The people are taking action themselves, in the knowledge that we are the only people that can put the brakes on climate chaos.
This afternoon, climate change campaigners have 2 objectives. The first is to reach the area earmarked for a 3rd runway. The second is to surround the headquarters of the British Airport Authority's offices. It's not clear whether police will allow this to happen.
If disruption does occur, that will be because police are making a choice. They are choosing to protect the interests of the company BAA over the interests of passengers.
BAA has obtained an injunction banning certain protest groups from the airport. The Camp for Climate Action says it has no intention of disrupting passengers. The next few hours will see if that is the case. Ian Palmer, BBC News.
Well, as we can hear from that report, the policing around here is immense. Around 2,000 officers trying to keep control of the protesters. At this time, it is fairly calm, but obviously we will be getting reports throughout the day from all sorts of areas over and around Heathrow as to where they're ending up. The big groups, police can pretty much keep an eye on. It's the smaller breakaway groups, as we've heard, as I was telling you earlier about those 3 protesters that are up on a roof somewhere. So it's those smaller groups now that police are slightly worried about.
In total, there don't seem to be as many protesters as were originally forecast.
Yes, well, the protesters this morning saying that there are around 1,400 protesters, but it hasn't really looked that way to us. It's been sort of 500, 600, 700 maybe protesters. So I think that they may be overselling it a bit by saying there are 1,400 people down here demonstrating. And whenever we speak to people from the camp and ask them if they have any idea how many people are here, they're very vague about it and say they don't really know. So I think the police have come in quite heavy-handed. You know, they have brought an awful lot of police officers in, up to 2,000 police officers, as Ian was saying there, 4 per person. So at the moment, they are very, very much on top of things.
OK, Nicola Pearson for now from Heathrow. Thank you very much.